What is up and what's going on, fellow fanatics, on this beautiful, glorious Monday? No need to adjust your dials, no need to try to figure out what is going on with your screens. We are live and we are in color. We are here with you guys this evening, and we appreciate every single one of you that is coming in and joining us this evening. Now, like I said, no need to adjust anything. Actually, everything is actually working. If you can hear me right now, then the cameras and everything is working. Corey's coming in clear. I'm clear.
Yeah.
So we do hope that we can provide a good show for everyone today. So, Corey, the last time we were on here, it was chaotic. My screen was fucking up. Your screen was fucking up.
Oh
I
man.
My screen went out. Your screen was freezing. It was just a terrible, terrible stream, and I think that was the last impression everybody had of us. But since the last time I've seen you, Corey, how have you been?
A lot has changed. In good ways. I'm doing really well. Um, I have been released from the shackles of a 9 to 5.
Oh, that isn't that just like the best
It's
feeling? It's just
freedom.
it's the best, bro. I saw this TikTok the other day of this dude running down the middle of the street. I don't know. He looked like he lived in New York, and he was just screaming, I'm free, free from corporate America." He was flipping off. I was like, bro, literally, I feel that. I've done that. I've said that. Like last night, after yesterday was Mother's Day. Shout out to all the moms out there for Mother's Day. Shout out to you too, Mother's Day.
Thank
Um,
you.
I took my mother out to eat yesterday, and then we ended up meeting back up later that evening to go to Bricktown down here. And so we were just walking around Bricktown and everything like that. And it was later than I wanted to be out. I'm sorry. I'm reaching that age where at a certain time,
Honey,
especially with my
9 o'clock.
schedule daily, I want to be in bed, tucked in, not knowing what the fuck is going on.
I
So
need to
we were,
be,
yeah,
yeah.
we were out later than I wanted to be. But so we were out, and the freedom of me being able to say, uh, depending on how I'm feeling, I might work tomorrow.
I might go to work tomorrow.
Depending on how I'm feeling, I might
I'm
work tomorrow.
feeling. I don't know.
So
We
it's just
shall see.
bro, it's an amazing feeling to be
It's an
able to
amazing
be in
feeling.
that position, to be able to say, yeah. So
Yeah.
I definitely feel you. I definitely feel you.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. So I'm going to be able to be here more, which is something I've really been striving to do because I love hanging out with you. I love hanging out with the stream. So I'm very excited about that. Summer's coming up. KJ's about to end school. We're about to be outside every single day, even though it's going to be hot as hell. I'm getting a Westwood pass. We're outside.
Yeah,
I'm
it was definitely
excited.
hot today. Definitely
Yeah.
hot today. But like I said, we do have a show for you guys today. And as always, we are going to come with a few of the topics that are trending out there. If there is something that you guys would like us to speak about in a future show, if there's ever something that you see throughout the day or throughout the week, you are always welcome to DM me directly on Twitter. You can let me know, hey, I feel like you guys should be talking about this, or Darius, have you seen this, or you guys going to talk about this,
Mhm.
or X, Y, and Z. And then we will get on it and probably make it a topic on the show. Now, it is not just Corey and
Yes.
myself that are back. It is myself, Corey. Q is at work. He's got a new job, so I wouldn't say new to you, old to him,
Right.
but he is working his job, so he's got his availability back to be able to be here on the evenings, but that hasn't started yet. I believe he should be here sometime this week because we are back streaming Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm live on Thursdays with the Pantheon, and we'll stream on Fridays as well.
Right.
The next thing I can say is just a little quick announcement before we jump into everything. For those of you that have been here since day one, those of you that have, been here since we've started everything, you've been here with the rotating faces that have been some of my co-hosts and things like that. One of my all-time favorite co-hosts, and I'm not just saying that as far as like, to make anybody feel bad or anything like that. One of my all-time favorite co-hosts, and not only just favorite co-hosts, I have known this individual since elementary. We've been friends since elementary. We've been in almost every class with each other since elementary, and that is Trey. Trey is coming back to, likely coming back to the stream here. We had a conversation today. He and
That's
Kellen,
exciting.
yes, he and Kellen are likely coming back to the stream to where they will be have days.
Kellen too?
Yes,
Oh,
Kellen
Kellen was
too.
a sweetheart.
So they will have
Trey
days
was a sweetheart
available
too. I'm
that they
excited.
can stream with us. So that is what we're definitely looking for. So I can't wait. I'm ready to be back. I am excited. Camera looks good. Audio sounds great. We've
Man.
got topics for you fanatics out there today. So let's get into it and
Let's
talk
get
about what we've got to talk about. Let's see. The first thing that we will go ahead and talk about and kind of just get off the top here is just going to be the Spider-Man Noir. So we'll talk here, Spider-Man Noir. So we know that Spider-Man Noir is coming to Amazon Prime. It is something that Sony is developing. With them developing this, we know that Nicolas Cage is attached to it, and with Nicolas Cage being attached to it, we've seen some things from it. Now, the things that we've seen from Spider-Man Noir thus far was just some video, some BTS video that was behind the scenes there, and it was Nicolas Cage on top of some type of a vehicle, and he was obviously being Spider-Man. So we don't know too much about it. We do know that it's going to be in black and white, but they did give us our first little look at it today. So we got to get our first little look at what Spider-Man Noir is going to look like. And before I even get into the article, I guess we can go ahead and look at that little tease that they gave us. So this is what they showed. Now, you guys may be able to hear it. You may not. We'll see, though.
Oh, they might be cooking with something.
Yeah, and it's like, how do you really, I mean, you can't really complain about, I mean, you can complain. We haven't seen it yet, but it's like, you can't really complain about this one. And the reason I say you can't really complain about it is just simply because we haven't seen it yet, you know?
Right.
We haven't seen what this one's going to be like yet. But on top of that, we also know that it's involving Spider-Man. Outside of anything else that Sony has done, that has been the biggest complaint, I feel like, from everybody, especially myself. That is why I stopped fucking with Sony. That's why I do not fuck with Sony. I think they jabbed me in the heart for the last time with Morbius. If you remember those Morbius days, I was promoting the hell out of Morbius. I was so excited for Morbius because felt like it was finally going to connect. Finally going to connect the Sony stuff, and everything was going to be together and blah, 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 blah. But then they, 2 weeks before releasing the film, took out all the Spider-Man stuff, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, you know what? I am done with Sony and this villains crusade that they're on, trying to make the villains popular without the franchise's main character. So, you have the Spider-Man IP, but you're not using it.
Right.
In this, you're actually using Spider-Man. So
Spider-Man. And I think, too, it also, we always say this on the channel, I think it really just comes down to that, to your writing too. Like, I think there is ways to do certain things without the main character if necessary, if you write it really, really well. And Sony just didn't get it. Because I was not a part of Planet Fanatics when Morbius came out, but I was excited for Morbius because I thought I was going to see Spider-Man. Right. And then I didn't see Spider-Man, and I got very sad.
Right. Likewise. I mean, I that's why I stopped fucking with them. I know a lot of people really liked Venom 3 because it did what it did numbers wise, and then Craven did what it did numbers wise after it came to streaming. But in the theaters, it bombed. But no one should be shocked by that. So Sony, I'm glad they're done with this whole thing with the villains and whatever they've got planned for the future with Spider-Man. Like I said, you've got him, use him. Doesn't make sense to me. But the synopsis that was given here from Sony reads, Spider-Man Noir is a live-action series based on the Marvel Comics Spider-Man Noir. Spider-Man Noir tells the story of an aging and down-on-his-luck private investigator, Nicolas Cage, in 1930s New York, who is forced to grapple with his past life as the city's one and only superhero. So we will, of course, again, dive into that more once that does drop. And does it give a release date? Doesn't give a release date, but it comes to the small screen in 2026, as it said there at the end of the little tease they gave. So Amazon Prime, Nicolas Cage, Spider-Man Noir. It's actually Peter. So, hey, here you go.
Here we go.
Here you go. The question is, can they deliver? And with it being on Amazon Prime, it can be a little bit more gritty, which they talked about at the very beginning when they first announced that it's going to be a little more gritty. You'll have that, the thing that people are looking for when it comes to an action series. Hopefully.
Well, that was my next comment too. The fact that it's not, yes, it's a Sony project, but the fact that it's not a standalone Sony project, the fact that it's, going through Amazon Prime, it might be cooking with a little something.
It might just do something. We will see, though. That's what's coming. That's what's going on with Spider-Man Noir. Very quick there. I did want to say this, though, for those people that is everybody that's just coming in. We will address all comments and everything at the Q&A section at the end. So we're going to go through all of the topics first, and we'll go through the Q&A and answer questions and hang out with you guys in the chat for a little bit. So we're going to move on to the next topic here. The next topic we're going to move on to is just going to be Superman. So there's been a lot of things said about James Gunn's upcoming Superman film that comes out next month. I am counting down the days. Trust me, I am very, very, very curious. I'm very curious in what this film is going to be. What has James Gunn done with Kal-El? And I'll just kind of rewind here, give my little just thoughts here before Corey jumps in. I said from the very beginning when the DCU was announced, when James Gunn came out and gave the timeline of projects that were supposed to come out, and now none of those projects are coming out except for I think 2 or 3. I never thought James Gunn was I was kind of questionable on him being the president, but never thought he could not do it. The only thing I was questioning when it came to James Gunn was truly his involvement with the Superman film as the director and as the writer. And the only reason I've said that is because James Gunn is great when it comes to writing for characters like the Guardians of the Galaxy. When you take a group of characters that not a lot of people knew before he even got his hands on the Guardians, unless you were a comic book reader, and you take a group and you were able to have fun with them and make them into the ensemble group that you wanted to turn them into, well, then it worked out in his favor. The Guardians, in my opinion, is one of my favorite trilogies within Marvel. However, the jokes and things that work for the Guardians, the dance out, the dance scenes and things like that, all of that stuff, all the things that we like and that James Gunn did with the Guardians, that simply, and I have not seen the film yet. I don't have to see the film to say this. And this is maybe just be my opinion. You may have a different opinion. In my opinion, that simply does not work for Kal-El. That does not work for Superman. You cannot come in and have Superman making jokes. You cannot come in and have Superman doing dancing. And I'm not saying he's going to be doing any of that. I don't know. What I'm saying is the things that have been said about Superman outside of the people within James Gunn's camp, the people within the Warner Brothers camp that they did the private screening for, because he did not do it for, he didn't open it for critics to come in and be able to view it on their own, then come out and give a report. This was done in-house with people that are close to Warner Brothers and close to James Gunn. So we really don't have a true and positive synopsis of what this film is going to be. So it's crazy. And the last thing I'll say here about this is I read this last night, or not last night, I'm sorry, I read this on Thursday. If you were here on Thursday, then you already know it. Maybe you've seen it before then. But if this is true, if this is what is coming out for what we're going to see July 11th for Superman, this is going to piss a lot of people off. And that is this. It says here that James Gunn's revenge on the internet. It says a bizarre and rumored plot for James Gunn's Superman has surfaced online, which claims the Man of Steel gets dragged into the world of cancel culture. In the leak, it claims that James Gunn sets up Superman to be battered by social media hate, which apparently makes the Man of Steel feel sad. No, we're not joking. It further claimed that James Gunn uses a hashtag supershit hashtag in the movie, which trends and damages Superman's image. But the real twist, Lex Luthor is behind it all, using an army of mutant monkeys at the keyboards to flood and troll the internet to tear Superman down. Like and comment for more. Now that could be a crock of shit. It could be fake. It doesn't have to be real. That's what I said. I said that on Thursday. I said, God, there's no way this is real. When I first read it, the very first time, I said, there's no way this is real. There's no way that James Gunn is actually incorporating that into a Superman film. If that is what is going on, again, that's not going to go over well with the overall audience. That's just not, and I've said it from day one. If Superman fails, my opinion, I could be wrong. If Superman fails, I believe your universe fails. I don't believe that if you're opening with Superman, I do not believe you bounce back. I don't believe if Superman fails and the critics and the audience and everything if this is not a jaw-dropping film, as I've said it needed to be, especially with you scrapping everything and everything that you did with the Snyderverse, letting Henry Cavill go after him coming back in Black Adam and everything else that we knew about, everything else that happened when James Gunn took over. You've already got people rooting against him in the Snyder fans. Mm-hmm. You've got people like me that are very curious but excited in a way to see what is going to happen with this Superman, because I would like a good Superman film.
Right.
Then you got the people that are just genuinely excited for it. So we'll see what happens. But you hear that. What are your thoughts?
Me personally, I get nervous. I I'll say this right now, and I've said it before. I'm very new to the DC world. I just started my journey literally a few months ago. Um, I don't want to get too deep into my personal opinions of Superman because I'm not gonna lie. He's not it for me. He's just not. You're muted. You're muted.
I said, yeah, you've said that before, and that is
Yeah,
wild. Love me
yeah.
some Kal-El.
I will say this though. I do. I'm currently watching Young Justice, and the Superman that we get in that one, I'm fucking with hard. I like a Superman who wants the smoke. Does that make sense? Like I understand the whole
Oh,
you're an alien.
you're looking at then you're not looking at Kal-El.
No,
Because Kal-El's not that way in Young Justice. You're talking about Superboy. Superboy is
yeah,
the
I'm
one that's
Superboy.
after the smoke. Yeah,
Yeah, I like Superboy.
that's
He's
Con-El. That ain't Kal-El.
yeah, that's my guy right there. But no, like Kal-El, as far as Superman, I get it. I get the whole you're an alien, you're coming, you came to Earth, you got adopted, you want to be as human as possible. You obviously adapt to our ways, so you have humanity, integrity, and I definitely love that about the character, but I don't know. There's just sometimes I've seen them and I'm like, these are aliens. Use your laser eyes. What are we really doing here?
Now
But
that
anyway,
I can agree with. It depends on, especially if you're watching a animated something of Kal-El, of Superman.
yeah.
It depends on who's writing, whose story it is, or
So
whatever.
I think my personal opinion is that right there. It's hard for me to say because I've seen so many different versions at this point, and it just really depends on the writer and the universe that we're going into. I am excited because it's James Gunn, and James Gunn has given me multiple movies outside of Guardians of the Galaxy since I was a kid that I absolutely adore. Um, but I am nervous because Superman is a serious character. He's not a character that comes in and does the hee-hees and the ha-has. I mean, he does banters, every once in a while, but it's not his demeanor. So I'm very I think I'm very much in that same lane as you. I'm very nervous, I'm very excited, I'm very curious to see how he integrates himself into this world, what he learned over at MCU versus, what he doesn't want to bring. Uh, as far as that rumor, I hope it's not true because that just sounds preposterous. I can see somewhat of it being somewhat true because I feel like nowadays everybody's trying to make everything relevant. And what's relevant right now being canceled on social media.
Yeah, well, James can relate to that, and that's why they're saying that that's why he's doing it. It's supposed to be a revenge on DC fans.
But I do hope like I said, I hope it's not right because I personally am a huge Lex fan. If I like anything about Superman, it's Mr. Lex. That man is diabolical. That's a hater if I've ever seen one. He is in my top 5 hater like fave. He's a good one.
Yeah,
so I hope they do him justice.
We'll see how everybody turns out in the film. Comes out July 11th. But before we close on that topic, James Gunn the reason we brought that even up today is because James Gunn says that we're supposed to be getting a trailer on Wednesday. Now, this did come out from some scoopers beforehand saying that we would get the trailer on Wednesday. The trailer is supposed to be coming out Wednesday morning, I believe. James Gunn has been dropping, this is coming from comicbook.com, that says James Gunn has been dropping hints on social media that the new trailer for Superman isn't too far away, and we now have confirmation that it will be released this Wednesday. A billboard for the DC reboot spotted in New York Times Square, revealing the trailer date along with a new teaser featuring some brief footage of David Cornsweet, Man of Steel, taking flight. So we will see. I saw some people saying like they don't think that Crypto is going to be in this film a lot. Oh, brother. Again, I haven't seen the film. I don't know, but oh, brother. James Gunn went through the trouble of creating this persona of Crypto after his own dog. So if you don't think that he's not going to insert his own dog into that film as much as he possibly can, You're crazy. Remember, the dog had its own trailer at the Super Bowl. So
Right. I was just about to say that. I was like, wasn't the only trailer we got was like the 30 seconds of just the dog?
yeah, yeah, yeah. So we'll see. But the trailer's supposed to be coming Wednesday. We will not be reacting to the trailer live. We will react to it outside of the stream, and then we will, of course, talk about it with you guys on stream. The reason we're not reacting to it is because Warner Brothers are some pieces of shit, and they will copyright strike you for reacting to things or playing any of their stuff. So we're not going to react to it, but we will talk about it, of course. Like I said, very highly anticipated film for myself, just because the things that have come out about it and things that have been said about it from different people, from haters, from whatever. I'm still very excitedly curious about how this film is going to turn out, and the future of the DC universe for sure. For sure. So, but that's that. We'll move on here. We'll move on to the Thunderbolts. So next thing we're going to talk about is just going to be the Thunderbolts. So Thunderbolts
Okay.
came out, and it is not doing well in the box office, but who's shocked? Now, as I've said before, I've seen the Thunderbolts. I think I've seen it twice now. I saw it not in theater, saw the second time at home. But the it's a good film. The issue I have with, I think that not the issue I have with Thunderbolts. I mean, I have issues, but not the issue. I think the problem with Thunderbolts is fun movie, wrong time. If you would have delivered this, if this movie probably would have been delivered, I don't know, beginning of all this debacled shit that, when the crack started showing, maybe you would have had people on board. But because you've delivered She-Hulk, because you've delivered Eternals, because you've delivered, Hawkeye, Echo,
Preach.
Daredevil, Born Again it wasn't Born Again, because you delivered so much bullshit to people. Thor: Love and Thunder. I mean, I could go on with Brave New World. I mean, so many different pieces of shit. Don't get me wrong, there've been some diamonds in that shit, but so many different pieces of shit. The casual fans are fatigued. The casual fans are like, hey, if it's not consequential, and I'm not just making this up. I've had conversations with friends of mine that are casual viewers of Marvel, people that aren't in this, that they never picked up a comic, that aren't in this shit like we're in it, that are saying the same things. If it's not a big spectacle, if it's not, fighting superpowers, superheroes, villains, shit blowing up, huge.
Then what are we doing?
I don't think that I'm really
then
interested.
What are we doing?
And that's where a lot of fans really are with it. They're not happy with where Marvel is. And I mean, we've talked about this. That's not news. We all know this. This is not a shock, and it shouldn't be a shock to Marvel. It shouldn't be a shock to anyone, really. If anything, it makes you very, if I'm Marvel, it makes me very worrisome for the Fantastic Four coming out in July. Because this box office is just not.
I've been worried.
Yeah, it's not not what they wanted at all. This is not what they wanted. But again, I've seen Thunderbolts. Don't get me wrong. It's a fine film. I had fun. It's this and this and that. But at the end of the day, it's still not a film that, I believe, where people are leaving. I can only speak for myself. I didn't leave the film, jaw dropped, ready to speak to strangers about, what I just saw.
Right.
I always compare each time I go to the theater, I compare my whatever theater experience to the last Marvel experience. And I remember a time when we used to go, we go to all these movies together. We haven't gone to the last movies together. If that speaks to I think that even speaks to the current state of Marvel. We as a channel haven't even watched movies together because the excitement level is not there. I mean, I saw Thunderbolts in theater with 5 other people. And when we used to go see these movies on premiere dates, that wasn't the case at all. So, I mean, again, I had a good time, but at the same time, my jaw wasn't dropped. I didn't leave wanting to discuss it with everybody. I wasn't like, oh my gosh, let me tell you about Thunderbolts, or oh my God, let me tell you how this guy or this character did this. I had fun. It was a nice time. The post-credit scene that I think they really wanted to be something that maybe sparked buzz online, or maybe even within the theater, it didn't do that. So Marvel, again, we've said this, they've got a hole they've got to dig themselves out of.
Lord, do they?
They've got a hole they've got to dig themselves out of. But this is coming again from comicbook.com, and this is what it's saying. In a repeat of the opening weekend, the box office numbers for the rebranded Thunderbolts to New Avengers are also coming in lower for the second weekend. While first it was estimated the second weekend's gross would be 35 million, and then it was revised, to 33.1 million. Actuals are lower at 32.4 million, a 56.4% drop. But again, like I said, nobody should really be shocked by any of this. Captain America Brave New World laid the foundation for what Thunderbolts was going to be. And I hate to even say it, but Thunderbolts is laying the foundation for what the Fantastic Four is going to be. The Fantastic Four is competing with Jurassic Park and Superman. I still think Fantastic Four is going to do more than Superman, but it's... We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We will see. Again, if you haven't seen Thunderbolts and you want to go see Thunderbolts, go see it.
I mean, if we're being very honest, I was semi excited to go. I was semi excited to go sit in a theater and go watch this movie. Life happened at the time. Couldn't go see it when it first... Oh, I got sick. So that's when I started getting sick. So I couldn't go see it. Got sicker, couldn't go see it. Came out the first weekend. People were saying good things about it. I was feeling pretty positive. Second weekend, they wanted to pull this whole New Avengers shit. And then that pissed me off. So then I said, I'm absolutely not going to go see this. So then Darius just sent me the link and I watched it at home. And it's an all right movie, but this should have came earlier. And now I'm just kind of confused on where like Sam plays a part in all this, I guess. Like, were we just never going to have an Avengers team with Sam?
No, there's a team. That was stated. So did you watch the film? Have you seen the post-credit scene?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's established. There is an Avengers team. If I'm reading the post-credit scene correctly, I believe it's some years or maybe months, or maybe not years, maybe months after they become the new Avengers, and because the tower that Val was redecorating is all decorated and has everything and blah blah blah. They have new, they look different. So I'm assuming they had that conversation of Sam's got his team. But
the fact that like it's just off screen, like I don't know,
that's what I'm telling. That's the thing for everybody. Temper what you want this to be, because a lot of it's going to be off screen because it's so fucking botched. They don't have time to go through and say, okay, we got to do a show for this, we got to do a movie for this to make this make sense, to make that connect, we got to make this post-credit scene come up. Like they've got so much shit they've got to do to fix all the botchness that has been phases 4 and 5 and whatever the fuck phase we're on now. They've got some work to do. They got some work to do. So yeah,
they have a lot. I mean, and that's, we already knew that, but this movie kind of definitely solidified it, especially as we get into Fantastic Four and Doomsday and Secret Wars. If we're even being real honest, they announced the cast for Doomsday. I'm not excited. Y'all have to understand the love that I have for Robert Downey Jr. as an actor, and as anything this man has been in, old or new, I have seen it, and I have seen it multiple times. I've seen Oppenheimer at least 3 times already, just because it's actually a great movie, and I think he did phenomenal. I love this man. One might even say I'm obsessed. Who knows? But I'm not excited about this movie, and I'm not excited that he's back. And I might sound horrible saying that, but that's where I'm at.
Yeah, but it's not just yourself that is not excited that RDJ is back as Dr. Doom. It is also a lot of fans. Remember, when this was announced at the last Comic-Con, this was a very split announcement from the fans.
Yeah.
You had fans saying, "What the fuck?"
Very split.
Fans saying, "Oh my god, yay! That's fantastic." Then you have fans that are just in the middle, like, I don't know, I got to see it. And if you were to, I mean, and that's the thing that's surrounding, and that's what we'll go ahead and jump into that now, since we're talking Avengers and Doctor Doom and things like that.
Right.
If you're to believe all the, and I believe them all, most of them I do. If you're to believe a lot of these scoops and things that are coming out, they're gonna have,
Ooh, honey.
there's a lot that's got, for me, they're gonna have to make a lot of this make sense.
Ooh, a lot. They're gonna have to make a lot make sense.
Yeah, they're gonna have to make a lot of this make sense, because one of the newest scoops coming out currently is that RDJ. Oh, I stopped sharing it. My fault. That RDJ is supposed to be presenting himself. Dr. Doom's RDJ rather is supposed to be presenting himself to the Avengers firstly as Dr. Doom. Now,
okay, but which Avengers?
That would be
Wilson
Sam
Avengers,
Wilson. The Avengers. I believe when they all, I don't know. Shit, I don't know. The Avengers, I would assume.
Do you see what I'm saying here, though? Like, I get what that post credit was saying, but it just Thunderbolts.
To the, I would assume he would go to Sam's Avengers, because as spoiler alert for anybody that hasn't seen the film yet, as John Walker said in the post-credit scene, judging from all the memes and the hate that we're getting online, I would think that the public does not think that we are the real Avengers. So I would assume he's going to possibly go to Sam, and even by then, by the time Doomsday happens or whatever, they could have been talked it out or whatever. I don't know how it's going to go. It's all this. These are throw that in the air with a lot of the other questions that are surrounding Doomsday. But this is coming again from comicbook.com. This is a new Avengers Doomsday rumors has surfaced, which claims to reveal what Doctor Doom has planned for the Avengers, Fantastic Four, and X-Men when he makes his presence felt in the MCU next year. Avengers Doomsday cast feels far from complete, but even if that were it, the movie boasts more than enough heroes to deliver a mostly satisfying Avengers/Fantastic Four/X-Men team up. Doctor Doom is formidable, but it's not until he seals the power of the Beyonders in the Secret Wars comic to become truly unstoppable. That begs the question of how Victor Von Doom will be able to contend with 3 superhero teams in this movie. Okay. And it says, we may have an answer today, though, courtesy of some insiders' intel shared by... this is a new scooper that's kind of on the scene. It's Quaid Vok, if I'm saying that last name or the last part right, Vaco, whatever the fuck, one of those scoopers. So take this with a grain of salt. This could be some bullshit. While we suggest taking this with a pinch of salt, it makes for an interesting read and could offer our best idea yet of what's coming in Avengers Doomsday. According to the translated report, Doom will be shown orchestrating the conflict between Avengers and mutants as part of a more ambitious plan. The site adds that Doom will use the Avengers as a tool to confront the mutants in order to weaken both fractions. His ultimate goal would be to gain access to power source capable of reviving his own destroyed universe. With the Fantastic Four seemingly aligned with Earth's mightiest heroes, Alan Cummings recently said in an interview, if nobody saw that, he said, it sounds like Marvel's First Family will also do a battle with the Uncanny X-Men. I don't think they went into the interview that he said, but
I did watch that video. I did watch that interview.
Yeah, in a recent interview that Alan Cummings did, he said that obviously I'm it's not verbatim here. He said that making movies are a little different now, so he's doing all the fighting, and then he said, "Wait a minute, who am I punching?" And then they said, "You're punching Mr. Fantastic, Pedro Pascal." Obviously, he probably was not supposed to say that shit at all, but he did, and so. With him saying that, it has sparked a lot of conversation around that with people saying, okay, so wait a minute. If he's saying that, then that means people are asking, why are the X-Men fighting the Fantastic Four, blah, 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 blah. But then you had the Russos that posted that picture from the set of Doomsday, and it was a chair that was for Dr. Doom, RDJ, and the chair looked like it was seemingly in the X-Mansion. And then if you go and look at some of the pictures behind the set, or behind the scenes photos that have come out and leaked from one of the Twitter pages. I forget the name of the Twitter page, but when I edit this video, it'll be up in there. It looks like there's a battle happening outside X-Mansion. It looks like there's a bunch of ships
I did see that
bunch of ship pieces and things like that are on the ground. So it looks like, there's a battle outside of X-Mansion. And then according to some of the other scoopers, it looks like there's going to be a big epic battle in front of X-Mansion between Doctor Doom and Magneto. Again, take all this with a grain of salt. We don't know if any of this shit is true or not, but there are real set photos of big battle ensuing. So that's why Alan Cumming said that. That's why they're all thinking this and blah, blah, blah. It goes on to say Thunderbolts ended with the Fantastic Four ship. Oh, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. If you have not seen Thunderbolts and you do not want the post-credit scene spoiled for you or anything like that, then now is the time to check out, because I'm going back into reading this now. Thunderbolts ended with the Fantastic Four ship rocketing to Earth 616, leading to theories that their world must be destroyed at the end of Fantastic Four First Steps. If Doom hails from the same reality, and he really should, then that's almost certainly the world he's attempting to restore. We'll have to wait to see. Now, I will kind of give a little interjection there. Again, I don't know anything. I don't have connections over at Marvel. I've not spoken with anyone. All I can do is go off of what these scoopers and people have said. And now what the scoopers have said, again, spoiler alert, what the scoopers have said here, if you're into spoilers, I'm still going on that. What the scoopers have said here is that what we think is happening in the Fantastic Four trailer, what we think is happening at the end of the post-credit scene in Thunderbolts is not actually what's really happening. Their universe is not getting destroyed at the end of their film. Their universe is not going to get destroyed until Doomsday. So what we are seeing is, from what we've heard, again, the vision that you're seeing in the trailer of their universe, your universe being destroyed, is a dream that Reed Richards has had, and he has seen or foreseen or something like that, their universe being destroyed. Now, again, grain of salt, may not be true, could be some bullshit, but that is what the scoopers are saying. That is so this could be real here, saying that, you know, the universe actually does get destroyed and that's why they're fleeing into our universe, or it could be what the scoopers are saying as well. It goes on to say, so probably a year ago, because, you know, Kevin Feige and I have in touch. We're pals. Robert Downey Jr. said last year about how his MCU return happened. Favreau, Feige, and I have kept in touch. I'm close with the Russo brothers. We have other business we're doing. So there's a little group of fellow travelers. I'm not reading everything that he had to say there, but just know that Avengers Doomsday is set to be released on May 1st, 2026, and the Avengers Secret War schedule will arrive on May 7th, 2027. So, yeah, we'll see here. We'll see exactly what's going to happen with all the fights and things like that. But there are several different teams. There are several different people that are coming. Corey, I mean, you hear that the Fantastic Four are possibly going to be pinned up against the X-Men, who are going to be pinned up against the Avengers, who are going to be pinned up against the Fantastic Four. And this is all orchestrated by RDJ's Dr. Doom, who has presented himself, grain of salt, as Iron Man. How does this work? Do you think that story is going to be that synopsis right there is enough to really solidify Doom, and not only really solidify Doom, but with all that going on in this film, with all these teams going on, and I've defended this before, but I'm just posing the question, with all these things going on in the film, do you think that they are going to have enough time in a 2-hour to possibly almost 3-hour film, if it's that long, almost 3 hours, to really flesh out who Dr. Doom is for the general audience, to really flesh out Marvel's greatest villain?
I don't think so. I think I don't have faith in it. I don't have faith that they will. Also, I'm basing all of this off of our previous big bad, Thanos. That was a 10-year timeline before we got to his big and bad. I mean, of course, we knew who he was. We knew he was working behind that curtain, but they had time to integrate that with each movie. I feel like doing it all in one movie in about a 2 or 3 hour span, plus a few end credits, maybe a mid post credit, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to be able to pull it off. I feel like it's going to be a lot to be thrown at people. I feel like if you haven't been keeping up with what's been going on, you're going to be very lost. You're going to be very confused. Because I just don't know how they're going to introduce, set a story, do a plot, end. Does that make sense?
And then move into Secret Wars.
Yeah.
No, they like I said, they've got a big to do now. Do I trust the Russos
Absolutely.
off of past resume Marvel shit? Of course, I think
Yeah,
that when it comes to
absolutely.
their Marvel resume is what we all like to say, flawless.
Hmm.
Now there are other films outside of Marvel I cannot speak on, but their Marvel resume is they introduced T'Challa, they introduced Spider-Man, and they introduced them very well. Now so they handle ensembles well. I mean, look at Avengers Doomsday, look at Avengers Endgame, look at Avengers Civil War. I mean, they handle big groups well and things like that. So it's possible they really could pull this whole thing off. Um, it's just it's a lot going on, and we still haven't had the second
It's a
cast
lot.
announced. We haven't had the second part of the cast announced. If you take yourself all the way back to 2024, like middle 2024,
Yeah.
the announcement came out that the ensemble cast for this was going to be about 60 individuals. You're going to have about 60 individuals in this film. And if what we've got announced so far, plus the second announcement, yeah, you're going to get pretty close to that. You've got other people that, are going to be in it as well. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. We'll see. There's so many questions that need to be answered. And I feel like trying to do that plus introduce a whole new villain plus introduce new characters within a 3 hour span is just going to be a lot thrown in people's faces.
And then you got Comic-Con, that comes this year as well. San Diego Comic-Con is this year right
Hmm.
before, I believe it is before Fantastic Four drops in theater. So
Hmm.
they could drop some major earth-shattering Marvel news there.
They could. I
Let what my
mean,
source says, it's the recasting of T'Challa if the trades don't get it first. Do I believe that? No, but we will see if that is what they're going to do. Announcement like that could be earth-shattering or something like that. Now, I don't know what you can do with the Fantastic Four that would really, be earth-shattering. I'm gonna be honest with you, and again, I'm not gonna spoil it because that's not come out yet. We don't know anything for sure, but from what I've heard, the post-credit scene is in Fantastic Four. Once upon a time, bro, that would have even gotten like, is it cool? Am I gonna be like, that's that? If it's true, I might be like, oh, that's cool. Once upon a time, though, that would have got me like bouncing in my seat. I'd have been like,
right.
oh fuck, that's they're cooking over there. But no, I'm I heard about it and I was like, okay, that'll be cool. But
Yeah.
it's not enough for me to be like, damn. Now, with all these reshoots that they've been doing for the Fantastic Four, I personally believe, I haven't heard anything about this. Again, no spoilers. If it's not adding Doom in it, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know
Why
what
are we
you're doing.
reshooting? Yeah.
I don't know what you're doing because at this point, at this point in the game, you should have had Doom show up in I don't know if he needed to show. He didn't need to reveal himself to the Thunderbolts. I didn't need that. I mean, I didn't. We just watched them get their asses beat by Sentry. I didn't need them to come
That
in and get
part.
decimated by Doom. So I didn't need him to introduce himself to anybody that was in Thunderbolts. But what you should have done in that is gave Doom some type of something. Like we see Doom, like the post credit scenes we used to get with Thanos, where he would, we'd see him like, fine, I'll do it myself,
Yeah, that's what I'm
those
saying.
things.
We had
There's nothing with Doom, and I'm like, how are you?
nothing.
How are you?
How are
doing
you
this?
going to introduce, give us a plot, give us a climax, give us an end, and then expect us to come back within 3 hours when we've literally had no introduction to him at all. At all. Not even in Thunderbolt. Like, all you're giving us is Fantastic Four. Maybe Spider-Man 4.
No, Spider-Man 4. You're getting your Spider-Man 4.
Okay.
Spider-Man 4 is
but if we get something, as far as like, if we get Doom, something of Doom in Spider-Man 4.
That is now, from what we know
And then
about
Doom.
Spider-Man 4, it's supposed to be a after or before Doomsday. I can't remember exactly. It's changed so much. But
so much.
if Doom has he has to be in.
Listen,
Spider-Man.
They have to do a lot of things, but they have not. So you see what I'm saying? So it's like,
he literally has to be. Like, I'm not saying he needs to be the entire film, or I would actually, I mean, from what we know about,
point, he needs
it's
to
grounded. It's grounded. He's not going to be in it. If he's in it, it's a post-credit, maybe the end. But
the
he's
last,
not. Mm-mm.
The last source that I read on, which I mean, again, my sources are not as great as Darius, but it was very much what you said. It's grounded, and it's going to be one of those things where they kind of compared it to the Ant-Man, where it's like, meanwhile over here, this is what's going on, type situation.
Yeah, at
So
one point it was supposed to be Battle World film. It was supposed to be
yeah,
happening during Avengers Doomsday, but then that's when it was supposed to be multiversal and all this type of stuff. It went from being multiversal to not being multiversal to being multiversal, but now it's back being grounded to where the main villain might be Mr. Negative. So we don't really know too much because it's changed a lot. We know that they're currently looking for more female, another female actor. They're looking at teachers for where Peter currently is going to be in life, in college and things like that. Yeah, it's supposed to be, from what Samina said. I can't remember. Is it after? Is it after now? Because if it's after, that would make it a Battle World film.
No,
It's no longer a Battle World film.
What I've read so far is supposed to be a before Doomsday, but during Thunderbolts or during
I don't remember exactly what
Fantastic Four. So, but it was one of those meanwhile over here, this is what's going on with Peter Parker. It's a meanwhile movie, if that makes sense.
Let me see. Okay, Spider-Man 4, Brand New Day. Let me see. It's reportedly going to start production in August, and we have a couple of new rumors relating to a key supporting character from the previous trilogy, and one that is said to be the movie's villain. It says, let me see. It says multiple sources have claimed that Zendaya will have a reduced role as MJ, and sounds like Jacob Batalon's part will be even smaller. According to Scooper, My Time to Shine Hello, Ned Leeds only makes a cameo in the most recent draft of the script. This wouldn't be a major surprise following the events of No Way Home, and Brand New Day is expected to introduce a new group of supporting players via Peter Parker, Tom Holland, college classmates. As the villain speculation began to mount to Mr. Negative, Mr. Negative might make his big screen debut as the main antagonist following the recent comments from Marvel's Spider-Man video game actor Steven, not butchering the last name. He played his voice in the PS5 video game. It says he voiced Mr. Negative in the game. He was asked if he knew anything about the character's inclusion in Brand New Day and whether the studio has been in touch about potentially playing the villain in live action during an interview with 4Q, whoever the fuck. He said, I have not been contacted by Sony. Let me just say I know certain things, but as far as contacting me, that is yet to be manifested. Goes on to say, I have a sort of idea, but I also kind of have no idea. Marvel and gaming and Sony, there are so many big parts. This is such a big machine that even if I did know, I couldn't tell you if I wanted to. So anyway, he may be playing Mr. Negative, but they had some other things that they said here. It says, unlike the previous films, Homecoming, Far From Home, and No Way Home, Brand New Day is the name of a specific arc from the comics that focuses on Peter Parker's attempting to rebuild his life following the events of the status quo, altering one more day in Civil War. Great comics. It was on to say, Brand New Day features a number of new characters such as Charlie Cooper, Lily Holster, aka Supervillain's Menace, which has led to speculation that Sadie Sink may have been cast as one of these roles. Of course, just because the movie borrows the title doesn't mean it's going to be anything close to the direct adaptation of the comic book storyline, although we will likely see certain elements carry over, especially since No Way Home ended with Doctor Strange casting a spell to make everyone know that Peter Parker does not exist. Mm-hmm. Late last year, a rumor synopsis for the then untitled Spider-Man 4 did the rounds online after showing up on a production website. The outline didn't garner much attention since fans figured it sounded a little too basic, but with the brand new day title now confirmed, people are taking another look. And this is the last thing it says here. It says, following the events of Doomsday, Peter Parker is determined to lead a normal life and focus on college, stepping back from his responsibilities as Spider-Man. However, peace is short-lived when a deadly new threat emerges, endangering his friends and forcing Peter to reconsider his promise, which stakes higher than ever. Peter reluctantly returns to the Spider-Man identity to find himself teaming up with an unlikely ally to protect those he loves. Even if this is accurate, it doesn't reveal very much. There are numerous possibilities of an unlikely ally, but some fans are convinced it will be Sync's mysterious character and not previously established MCU heroes.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely heard that. I've heard from a few sources that I was reading that they were thinking to keep it grounded again. Mr. Negative. MJ was going to be a small role. I also read somewhere that possibly they're introducing Gwen.
Yes, possibly.
And
possibly.
And it being a rumor that it's possibly Toby's daughter, like OG Spider-Man's daughter. But I'm
there was a lot of, I remember that one. There was a lot of rumors surrounding, but it's been reworked so many different times. It's been reworked even when Tom said that he read it and him and Zendaya were jumping up and down after reading the script. It's been reworked from that. So we'll have to wait to see exactly what it's going to be. But again, it does fall. It's in that Doomsday. It's in between that, or either before or in between that Doomsday Secret War time. So we'll see exactly what Spider-Man 4 is going to be. All right. One of the last topics we have here before we move into the very last topic is just going to be Ironheart. I tweeted about this yesterday or today, one of those. And although I am not searching for Ironheart, although I am not, counting down the days for Ironheart to hit Disney Plus, that's not the point. The point is, Marvel Studios took this character, took Dominique Thorne, had her come in, and you tried to shoehorned her into Wakanda Forever and everything else that you did with her, and then giving her the Ironheart character. It was fine, everything like that. Nobody was really checking for Ironheart. I wasn't. Can't speak for everybody. I wasn't really checking for Ironheart. I didn't really care about Ironheart and Wakanda Forever. Her presence in Wakanda Forever is not memorable. I don't remember that film really outside of T'Challa's absence and the Queen Mother dying and Wakanda's incompetence. But I as far as Dominic Thorne, as far as Ironheart, Riri Williams, forgettable. And if she is forgettable to hardcore MCU people that have been here, the casuals definitely don't give a fuck about Ironheart. People didn't watch Daredevil, okay? And that was a very successful Netflix show with Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio that came over to Disney Plus and was not so successful. People did not watch that show. So with a Ironheart show from a character that was introduced in 2022's Wakanda Forever. Here we are in 2025. We haven't heard shit about this character. We haven't seen shit about this character. Nothing like that outside of that little weird cruise ship video she did with the other champions or Young Avengers or whatever the fuck type name they're taking. That's the only thing we've seen from her. That's it. So now you're expecting fans in a time where Marvel is failing, in a time where you're putting out theatrical films and no one's going to watch them. You're expecting someone to tune in week to week, and it would behoove them to drop every episode. I wouldn't do a week to week release of Ironheart.
Baby, drop it.
I don't know if there's 6 episodes, 8 episodes, 9 episodes. I don't know.
There needs to be no
every
episodes.
Single one, because if you do it week to week, oh brother, that. It's not going to show up on the charts, as no one's watching Ironheart. And I don't want to say no one. There may be people in here. I remember Raymond had said at one point in time he was going to check it out. Yeah, there may be people that are going to check out Ironheart. I'm going to tell you right now, for me, it is a no-go. I am not going to be tuning in to Ironheart in the evenings when I can be doing something better. I don't care about this character. Marvel doesn't care about this character. Why, Darius, do you say Marvel doesn't care about the character? Because we are 46 days away from this show dropping on Disney Plus. Have you seen a motherfucking trailer for Ironheart? Have you seen Dominic Thorne
I think
posting
they're
on
dropping
Instagram?
one tomorrow.
Yeah, they're dropping one tomorrow. But when has Marvel ever done that? 45 days, 44 days before a show or a movie or anything like that drops on, that shows that they don't have confidence in this. That shows, I mean, like I said, your actor is not out. Now, maybe she can't. Maybe Marvel told her, don't talk about it. She's not out here tweeting about it. She's not out here putting things on Instagram. She's not revving up the promo. I'm not seeing her say Marvel doesn't care. She doesn't care. So why the fuck do you expect your audience to tune into this in June?
Right.
No one's watching this.
No.
I could be wrong. Maybe Ironheart goes on to soar, to be Disney Plus's Marvel Disney Plus's greatest hit, but I don't.
Here's my thing though. It's hard to be excited about this stuff when none of it plays a part in anything that we're trying to accomplish right now. If we were going down a different path in the MCU, if we were focusing purely on grounded things before we started going to multiverse and cake and do, okay, you might would have gotten me excited because I want to be excited. You know what I mean? I want to be excited for this, but it's very hard to be excited for this.
Yeah, it is. Like I said, when Marvel's not even excited, when Marvel themselves are not even excited for their own product, like this, there's been nothing. I don't care if there's a trailer coming out tomorrow. That's great. But the thing is, this would have never happened and it didn't, to Agatha. This would have never happened, and it didn't, to Hawkeye. This would have never happened, and it didn't, to Echo or any of the others.
With Agatha, we had at least 4 to 5 trailers.
You had teasers, you had trailers, you had featurettes, you had shit that we weren't even asking. You had 16 different name changes and title cards. You had shit going on with Agatha that nobody asked for, including the show itself. Although it was fine, it was fine, So my thing is, you have all this going on with all these different shows, but it's funny when it comes to the black characters at Marvel. We can't seem to get this shit right. You've got Ironheart sitting on a shelf with a trailer that you won't release, with an actor that's just sitting at home or wherever the fuck she is, twiddling her thumbs, not talking about a character she's about to be portraying in 45 days. You got T'Challa, who's 6 feet under. You got Monica, who got her show canceled. You got Rhodey, who got his show canceled. Blade was never fucking happening in the first place. And then you got all these black characters. And then you got people online that want to tell you, stop acting like that. Marvel does care about their black characters. Look at Sam Wilson, the botched film, and yes, botched, because somebody on Twitter tried to tell me, saying it's botched is retarded. I'm sorry.
It's botched.
56 different reshoots. The story changed how many different times?
You can tell
Red Hulk was never in the film. Everything that went wrong with Brave New World, and now botched film. It was a botched film, and it failed numbers wise. So it seems like once again, the black characters over at Marvel Studios are getting the big fuck you in the short end of the stick. 45 days and no trailer.
No.
And again, I'm not saying that I'm going to watch the show. I don't give a fuck about the trailer or not. It's the principle. It's the principle. It's the principle of the thing.
And can we ask a serious question? What is this trailer going to show us tomorrow?
Some shit. Again, it's just like I look at it at the Thunder. I look at this like the Thunderbolts. I look at this like Black Widow. Sure, it might be a fine show. Wrong time.
Wrong timing. We're not in. That's what I was trying to say. If we were in a different part of MCU, if we were in a different, it's just the wrong timing. It's not needed. No one asked for this.
Yeah, wrong time. And again, the show might be fine, but it's the wrong time for this show. No one cares. No one cares. No one cares at all. I don't know, that Mephisto rumors of Mephisto being in it. I don't know if Mephisto's in it or not. At one point, I really cared about Mephisto's entrance to the MCU. It's not relevant to me right now. It's not relevant. Ironheart, whatever she's going to be doing with the Red Hood, not relevant to me.
Yeah.
Stark Tech being released and villains getting their hands on it sound intriguing to me after Far From Home.
Yeah.
But after Wakanda Forever, after Thunderbolts, after New Avengers with a Z, after Fantastic Four ship crashing in, I don't give a flying fuck about the Stark Tech getting in the hands of the goddamn Red Hood from Riri Williams. I don't care. And again,
I think I saw
something.
Mean. So I saw something earlier today that was a quote from her. Again, take this with a grain of salt. That was like, yeah, she said something along the lines of like, yeah, it feels really good. Like basically getting like RDJ's blessing. And I just read that shit. And I was like,
Dominic Thorne said that?
Yeah, I read that shit.
She said that. When was that? She said that, bruh. It has been so long. She said that a long time ago when she was talking about RDJ's blessing and the things that they've talked about and this and that. RDJ don't give a fuck about Ironheart.
Don't give a fuck. Girl.
They may have had a conversation, but that was a long time ago. That was a while ago. So this show coming out, I guess we can go into this just a little bit. It says fans were wondering when we'd finally see a full trailer for Ironheart, and we now know it's on good authority that Marvel is set to release the teaser at some point tomorrow. At some point, not a date or not a time. You know, with the Agatha stuff, with any other trailer, they're able to give you a time. These scoopers and these articles are able to tell you, hey, Marvel's dropping it at this time. Marvel's dropping it at that time. It's gonna some point tomorrow. We'll drop the Ironheart trailer at some point tomorrow. And then it goes on to say, with Ironheart set to premiere on Disney Plus on June 24th, fans were wondering why we still haven't seen a proper teaser, and Daniel Richman is now reporting that the full trailer will release online at some point tomorrow.
Okay.
Though Riri Williams has gone on to become a very popular character in comics.
Has she?
It's probably fair to say that this isn't exactly the most high anticipated Marvel series, you don't say. Even so, the show is set to introduce some intriguing new elements to the MCU, including the demonic sorcerer known as Mephisto. Star Dominic Thorne recently revealed that Tony Stark actor Robert Downey Jr. or maybe it was a long time ago, maybe just because this show has been dragged out so long and 2022 was her introduction, it just maybe felt like it was a long time ago. It
felt like it was been forever, yeah.
But I guess her and RDJ were texting recently and gave her his blessing to take up the Armored Avenger mantle shortly after the series wrapped. Robert Downey Jr. and I spoke after I'm not reading that. That's what it just said. And then it goes on to say, though Williams has a genius level intellect at her disposal, she does not have the same resources that Stark did when he started out as Iron Man. After he built his first suit with nothing but a bunch of scraps in a cave, that is, and it says Riri is expected to don a few different costumes over the course of the series, but based on what we've seen so far, she'll spend the majority of the show in the early prototype suit and various promo images. That's again, you know, how Marvel likes to do these shows. I don't know when this show was exactly filmed. I want to say it was quite some fucking time ago.
Probably.
But if it was in that same mentality that a lot of these other shows and movies were filmed with, I damn guarantee you, because you remember Daredevil, Born Again, he wasn't going to get in the Daredevil suit until episode 5 originally, till they overhauled it. He was going to be depressed and mopey for 5 episodes. So unless this is in the new writing or whatever, I damn guarantee you barely see her in that suit in those first few episodes.
We're probably not going to see her till 5, and they're probably going to give us 6 episodes.
Yeah.
That's another thing too. Haven't you noticed? Like, there's no information about this show. Like, how many episodes are we getting? Is it going to be weekly? Are they dropping the whole thing? Like, we literally have no information about this show.
No, and they can't give you any information on it. Only thing that people keep doing online is just recycling that D23 trailer they showed or whatever the fuck, whatever event it was at. So, hey, that's Ironheart. If you're excited for it, June 24th is when it drops. Dominic Thorne's not talking about it. Marvel's not talking about it. Disney's not talking about it. But hey, sometime tomorrow they'll drop the trailer and you can watch it then. So we'll move on from that and we'll move into what's going on with the Black Panther in the MCU.
Hi, okay.
Last topic of the day. This is a recently shared video of Letitia Wright, Shuri in the MCU, taking getting ready for her role in Doomsday. It was a video of her exercising and obviously seemingly getting ready for that role. This is what they said on the direct. It says Marvel Studios Black Panther actress gave fans a first sneak peek into her training regimen ahead of her comeback for Avengers Doomsday, the massive Phase 6 team-up film in the early stages of production before it helps to close out the multiversal saga, with dozens of stars getting ready to reprise their roles soon. Black Panther star Letitia Wright shared a video of herself in a gym working out and prepare for her role of Avengers Doomsday. This will be her first time. This will be the first time that in live action. Sorry, this will be her first time in live action MCU since the end of 2022, leaving viewers anxious to see where the Wakanda ruler goes after taking on the Black Panther mantle. Is she the ruler? I thought Junior was the ruler. Was that not established at the end?
Yeah, I thought they made that very clear that he was doing the ruling and she was doing the kicking and the kaya.
Or maybe he's not old enough yet. I don't know.
We don't know. Because they left us with nothing.
Yeah, don't know. But it goes on to say here. Hold on, let me get that back down. Okay, so it goes on to say that posted on Wright's Instagram page per POC Culture on X, the video shows her using a pull-down machine with weights stacked to work out arms, with the video including the text "rack season." Yeah, it's on Twitter if you want to see it. Then it goes on to say Wright was seen in live action in 2022's Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, in which her Shuri took over the throne of Wakanda while mourning the loss of the late Chadwick Boseman T'Challa. The film ended with her coming to a truce with Tanaka Huerta's Namor, the Submariner, and Talokan, keeping Wakanda out of danger. Currently, Wright is one of 27 cast members confirmed for Avengers Doomsday, which begins filming in late April, with the plot details While the plot details remain unconfirmed ahead of May 1st, 2026 debut, the film features the Avengers, X-Men, and the Fantastic Four, and more going up against Robert Downey Jr.'s Dr. Doom and his quest for the multiversal dominance. How will Black Panther characters be used in Avengers Doomsday? Let's find out. While the Wakandans did not play a huge role in Avengers Endgame, their country served as a central location to the final and biggest moments in Avengers Infinity War. Moving forward...
Okay. I mean, like Wakandans as in like the civilization, or like... Because I just got done watching that movie, and baby, they was up in there like swimwear.
They said Endgame.
Oh, Endgame. Just kidding.
Then it says, moving forward, even with Doomsday expected to be largely multiversal affair, the hidden African nation should once again be an important locale for Earth's mightiest heroes. Joining Wright from her side of the MCU will be Winston Duke's M'Baku and Tanaka Huerta's Namor, continuing from where they left off on Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Both Wakanda and Talokan should be called upon to contribute to the fight against Dr. Doom, particularly considering Doom's connection to both nations in the comics. Yeah, but again, that's Doom's connections to both nations in the comics. Seemingly within our universe, that he doesn't exist. So those connections that he has to those nations in the comics, he does not have to those nations in the MCU. So originally, before you got the bullshit film that is Wakanda Forever, Dr. Doom was supposed to appear. Dr. Doom was supposed to be in a post-credit scene, rather. Supposed to appear to launch us into Doom Wars and things like that and blah, blah, blah. But seeing that you have not previously established that Doom is in this universe, the current Marvel universe, and he knows anything about Namor or knows anything about Wakanda. Now, that's not to say he doesn't have ties to those nations within his own universe. He could. I don't know. But I'm saying Wakanda in our universe, Namor in our universe, when they see him, aren't going to know who the fuck he is.
Right. Hell, Shuri didn't even... Shuri and Mother Queen didn't even know who the fuck he was.
Yeah, so they're not gonna know who Doom is when he it's just not. There's no connections. So, okay. Then it says, furthermore, fans are hoping to see Shuri interact with more of the Avengers this time around after meeting her like Bruce Banner, Steve Rogers, Vision, and more in Infinity War. Combine this with the possibility of fans being reintroduced to a multiversal version of T'Challa, and there should be plenty of thrilling action for the veteran MCU heroine. Now, we've all known for quite some time, obviously, that Shuri, Letitia Wright, is going to be coming back as Shuri in the MCU, and she's going to don the role of the Black Panther, the role that the mantle she currently carries. She is currently the Black Panther in the MCU. So, but there's also been, of course, things from Jeff Snyder and other scoopers like Alex over the Cosmic Circus, Daniel RPK, Charlie Murphy, and some of the others that have chimed in on the potential of seeing another T'Challa, multiversal T'Challa in the MCU or within this film or anything like that. I've heard things from the source that comes to me sometimes. I've heard things from, we've heard things from E-Man and him speaking with the Russos directly and things like that. So there's so many different, that's what you've got so many different layers of this. What's going on with the recasting of T'Challa? If that's going to happen, are they going to do it? Is it going to be this kid? Is it going to be a multiversal version? Is that multiversal version going to end up staying? Are we going to get T'Challa moving forward? All those things. Anyway, I've been blowing the whistle on what I think for a long time, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. And I'm not going to, try to protect feelings. I feel like as we get closer, I feel like you need to be prepping yourself. And I don't know this for sure. I'm just going off of my hunch. I'm going off of what I'm seeing. I'm a very pragmatic person. Be prepping yourselves for the real possibility that when you sit down or when you see a trailer, or if the trades get it, or if there's no announcement from Marvel about anything like that, as far as like the T'Challa, son of T'Chaka, being in these films, temper your expectations moving forward. I want to tell you this, and when I say that, I'm so already prepped. I'm for that to be the case, that when it is the case, of course I'm going to be mad.
But you're not going to be disappointed.
No. But I think I'm going to be just like, yeah. Yeah,
that makes sense.
I'm going to be pissed about it. But it's like, this is the road they've been leading you to. This is the breadcrumbs they've been giving you.
Yes, I would rather go in with the expectations that we have and be completely blown out of the water than go in thinking they're going to completely blow me out of the water and then walking out with the feelings that we already have now.
Exactly. Because I'm telling you, I would love to be wrong. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. I see Shuri doing what she's going to do. How they're doing the kid, is it going to be the kid from our universe, or is it going to be a kid aged up from another universe, or whatever? How they do it, I don't know. Is it I don't know. But all signs and things of that nature have led to that Marvel regular fans and Marvel themselves aren't interested in recasting T'Challa. But as long as it is a male, this is coming from other fans I've heard talking about this out there. As long as it is a male Panther, a male figure in the Panther costume, they don't give a fuck if it's T'Challa, T'Junior, T'Chanda. They don't give a fuck who it is. To whoever. It can be to whoever under that goddamn. As long as it's a male, they don't care.
Right.
And I was a part of that live stream. I didn't comment, but I was a part of that live stream of people talking about that. People saying that they were okay with that. It wasn't just a live stream. I've shared this before. I've told you guys this before. If you look on Instagram, if you look on Facebook, whatever social media you might have, I promise you, if you take yourselves back, and you can go onto your social media, whatever's, and type this into the search bar, it'll take you back to some of these old posts. Go back to when they were doing all the AI of Damson, all the AI of Aldous, and people were saying like, hey, maybe if this guy plays him, where people were saying before, oh no, nobody can ever replace Chadwick. After seeing Aldous, after seeing Damson, people were like, oh, well, that doesn't look bad. That makes sense. That I could see him as Junior. So there were some people in the comments saying like, I could see him being recasted as the T'Challa, but majority of the people in the comments were like, yeah, he could be recasted, but as long as it's the kid. People were in the comments saying, wasn't it established at the end of Wakanda Forever that it's the kid? It's the kid that we're doing, the kid. So we in this space, we that read the comics, that have opened up books and things like that, and know this character and blah blah blah, we have said recast and this and this and that. I'm telling you, those fans, those regular fans out there, and I don't think that even if they did make it T'Challa, if it is T'Challa, son of T'Chaka, I don't think that the casual fans are going to revolt. They're going to be okay with it either way because it's a male Panther, and like you're gonna have some people that are gonna be like, oh, da 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 da. But once they see it on screen, they're gonna be like, oh, I'm so glad that they made this decision, or whatever, if that's a decision that they decide to make.
That part.
But this is kind of like Doomsday for me. This is like all the rumors, so many different things surrounding the film of Doomsday, so many different things surrounding the talk around recasting T'Challa. Until Marvel says it, you won't know. We won't know. I can give my opinion. You can give your opinion. Thank you, Michael, for the super chats. And we're going to get to all that
you so much.
Very quickly here. This is the last topic. Although all that, might be going on, all that kind of stuff, I don't see it. I don't see them doing it. I don't see them bringing them back. But we'll see, and then for some people saying, well, they have to because it's going to be a reboot. No, it's a soft reboot. It's a soft reboot. It's not going to be a hard reboot at the end of Secret Wars. It's going to be a soft reboot. And I do not believe that soft reboot, unless something happens to Wakanda that is currently in our universe, it gets destroyed or something like that, or I don't know, or maybe if they do, we've used this example before, if it is T'Challa from another universe, his Wakanda gets destroyed, or maybe he comes into this universe and they accept him as the king. I don't know. I don't know, but we'll see. We are, if we're to believe again what I was told, San Diego Comic-Con is next month.
Yeah, I was just about to say that too. I was like, we have Comic-Con next month, so that's when we're going to get, I think, a lot of information on both DC and Marvel, and as far as what we're going to get in 2026, 2025 and 2026. I'm not going to lie, brother, when it comes to both universes, I'm nervous as shit.
Yes, it's in July, not June. I don't know why I'm thinking July is next month. It's in July. So you've got the rest of this month. You've got all of June, and then we'll see if they talk. I mean, what comes out about it? If something about T'Challa is really going to be said, if that is something that they've really decided to do, or how that. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Everybody's so worried about and focused on it. Don't get me wrong. I am too. I'm ready to see that reunion, the reunion between Thor and Loki. But imagine the reunion between Shuri and her brother.
Right.
Wakanda and their king. That's reunion. So yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see exactly what happens. But as of right now, though, my thoughts remain what they are on that. But Shuri is seemingly, or Letitia Wright rather, is getting ready for her role. If we're to believe what Jeff and them has said, that they've reached out to a male actor to portray Black Panther, is what I'm saying. I don't know who it is.
I mean, we have
Black Panther.
I mean, you'll
see that come out soon. See it come out soon. So, but that is the topics for today. Actually, I will say I want to go one more thing. Did you guys see also that Shrek 5 is not going to be what a lot of people are expecting Shrek?
Like, it's not going to look like how they were trying to make it look, or this plot, like the story?
Oh no, it's still going to look that way.
Why?
That is the animation, but
that is disgusting.
Oh, it gets grosser. Hold on.
Oh my God!
Hello is reporting that in Shrek. Now, she had reported on this back in February or sometime in 2024. I don't remember exactly when, but she had said in Shrek 5, Shrek, Donkey, and Shrek's daughter visit another universe. This isn't like Shrek 4, and it's not an alternate timeline. Instead, this new universe will feel familiar to us. Any guesses? Any guesses on what that universe is? No?
No.
Well, they're going to do a Who Framed Roger fucking Rabbit with Shrek. and he is going to come into our world. He is going to come into the real world. So I don't know if it's going to be animation next to live action like that, or if it's
Why
going to
would
be
they do
like
that?
if they're going to animate, like if it's going to be like an animated New York with or San or wherever the fuck, I don't know how
Okay,
they're gonna do it. But
first and foremost, the fact that you even try to even hold a light to Who Framed Roger Rabbit is disgusting and disrespectful in itself. Okay, because that movie is a classic, and nobody can ever do that movie the way that movie was done. Sorry about you.
I am still not a fan. I hate, absolutely hate animation with live action. I cannot watch it. It completely takes me out.
I'm the exact same way.
The only time I've ever been able to do it is Space Jam. That's the only time I've ever been able to do it.
I was just about to say, there's only 2 movies that I can watch that is live action and like animation, and that's Space Jam and Who Framed Roger Rabbit. So the fact that they're trying to do this is so cringy. And like, look at that picture down below. Why does she look like that? Why does she look like that?
And this is what they're saying too on her. It says, let me go ahead and give that the stamp.
I like that Zendaya is like doing the voice, but like, why does she look like?
So this says from my time too. Shrek's daughter, played by Zendaya, practices magic and is accidentally transports Shrek and Donkey to the real world, and now they must find their way back because she doesn't know the spell to bring them home. When I tell you that this is not what I thought when they said they were bringing Shrek back, and I haven't seen it yet, but this sounds like a big onion.
Throw it away and just give me another Puss in Boots. Okay.
Oh, he's not in it. Scoop. Puss in Boots is not in Shrek 5 unless they pull a Furious 5 and Kung Fu Panda 4 and sneak him into the end of the post-credit scenes. But as of now, he is not in it at
Then
all.
what are we doing? Oh, throw the whole movie away. Throw the movie away. I'm not.
Yeah.
You're doing a great job of pissing me off.
Yeah. So on top of the animation
why does
being
Why
different,
does she look like that? Oh my god! Why would you do Fiona like that? Fiona looks horrible.
They all look horrible. It's it'll yeah. So I was really excited for Shrek 5, but if I want to say this too, I remember saying this. I don't remember if I said it on the Pantheon or where I said it. My name said it on stream. There was no way that Shrek was ever going to be done the way it was done when it first released, like those first 2 Shrek films. I don't even mind the 3rd Shrek film. But those first 2 Shrek films are classics in my opinion. And on part of them being classics, there were a lot of jokes when I was a kid that obviously watching Shrek as an adult went over my head that I just don't see them doing. So I don't see this Shrek being anything like the Shrek before its predecessors at all. I
need a hero.
Yeah, that whole scene.
Like, what are we talking about?
That whole Shrek 2 is I love the first Shrek, but Shrek 2 is so damn
Shrek 2
good.
was good. They really outdid themselves.
Yeah, Shrek 2 is good. So so that's the scoop there with Shrek, and that's coming from My Time to Shine Hello. And I will say, as much as I can't stand My Time, she's on top of this one when it comes to Shrek. She was the one that put out a long time ago, back February 10th, that Zendaya is in talks for a major role in Shrek 5, to where the co-producer did an interview and said that they weren't going to release who was playing her voice until they released their little teaser that they showed. But because it leaked, they went ahead and said it, and that leak came from My Time. So she has been on top of it. He, she, whoever has been on top of it when it comes to Shrek. So I believe all of this. And if this is what they're doing, may God help them.
And you ain't getting my shekels. That's all I'm saying. You ain't getting my shekels, my dineros, my euros, my coins. None of it.
Yeah, but Lilo and Stitch looks good.
I'm excited for Lilo and Stitch.
Later this month, Lilo and Stitch looks good. So
I'm going to Lilo and Stitch this month with KJ, and I'm very excited.
For sure. All right, that is the show. So we'll go ahead and break it down into the Q&A really quickly here. If we don't get to everybody's, then we will catch you on the next time. But we were going to get through some of these. Definitely start with the super chat sent by Michael Nemo. Thank you so much for that, Michael, and the support from everyone else that has been constantly flooding the stream or constantly flooding the chat through this entire stream. It is very, very much appreciated. Corey, what do we got there with Michael's first super?
Oh, I'm over here clicking buttons I'm not supposed to. Sorry, give me a second. Michael's very first one was $2, more ads and hype, Ironheart or Echo. Oh, did I read the... No. Nope, that was it. That was the first one. I think more ads, Echo. More hype, none of them. I don't think they got hype. I don't think both shows got any form of hype. But we got more ads, like we got more trailers with Echo than we did with Ironheart.
Where do you see Echo? Because he
that's
said more ads and hype, Werewolf by Night or Ironheart.
The second one, but if you go more up.
Oh, I see.
Mm-hmm. And then yes.
Yeah, I'd say Echo.
Yeah, for sure.
I wouldn't say there's ads or hype around Ironheart. I would give both ads and hype, and the very little hype, I guess, for Echo that was for Echo. I would give them both to that. And same for Werewolf by Night. I will actually say for Werewolf by Night, there was people, including myself, I enjoyed Werewolf by Night. I thought it was fresh. It was different.
Yeah.
It brought the spooky side of the MCU or Marvel into the MCU. It led speculation for other, people. Like that's when we were really high on like, oh, Dope Blade and is Moon Knight going to join them?
Right.
All that kind of stuff. So I would say Werewolf by Night on ads and hype. Ironheart is just not existent.
It's not. His last one was native lead versus Mexican lead versus black lead MCU shows. Who got more coverage? None of them.
Is there a black-led or Falcon and Winter Soldier, I guess, is the black-led MCU show?
None of them. Because you know why?
It would be an even tie.
About white.
It would be an even tie, except for the Hispanic community, because correct me if I'm wrong, we don't have a Hispanic lead for an MCU character currently in the MCU. Outside
the only one would be Namor.
But no, there's no show for him or anything like that. So it would just have to go to Echo and then whoever the Falcon Winter Soldier, Sam.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
That's all we got.
Yeah, I would have to go to
all we got. Yeah.
All right. If you want to scroll to the top there, you can skim through those on the Q&A.
Thank you, Rico Woods, for my happy Mother's Day. I appreciate that.
Good night, Ricardo. Appreciate you showing love and stopping by, brother.
Let me see. Where do the questions start? This is more of a comment. Brother Stark said, I honestly haven't been watching trailers lately, but I feel like I've seen Crypto more than Superman, LOL.
Click on the comment that you're reading so it shows on the screen, but just click unclick it so it does not.
Oh, it's not letting it. I mean, I'm clicking it, but it doesn't show on the screen.
Oh, that's fine.
I think you can do that because you're hosting it.
You can keep going.
Okay. Let me see. The Culture Made channel, the Fantastic Four will be fine because it's got a truly hopeful feel, but they gonna snatch the rug from underneath us.
I don't know. I mean that might have worked at one point in the MCU, a hopeful feel.
Maybe.
But when I don't think people are interested in going to the MCU for hope and feels anymore. Again, spoiler alert, Thunderbolts arguably is a big feel there at the end, is a movie that's supposed to put you in your scenes, that's supposed to put you in your feelings there at the end. But a lot of people online, the discourse has been that's how The Void got destroyed, with feelings.
Yeah, I was literally just about to read this comment. Not Again 90 said Thunderbolts was okay, but seeing the Void be defeated by the power of friendship was a little yucky to me. So cringe. So cringe.
Again,
so, from a group of people who literally have either tried to help kill said Avengers before or completely tarnish their name in some shape, way, or form. So it's like, this is crazy. I mean, I get what we're doing here.
There was never, which we all said at the very, 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 very beginning, take yourself back when Steven Yeun was supposed to be Sentry. It never made sense for this group to go up against Sentry. That is why they had to do what they did to Sentry in the film. What are you gonna do with the Superman of one of the Supermen of your universe, with a group of guys that, like they said in the movie, just shoots guns?
Exactly. Thank you. I was like, Sentry?
At one point in time, Hope probably drove a lot of asses to the seats. But Hope ain't driving asses to Fantastic Four, I don't think.
Anonymous 2K said apparently the scene in the post-credit was directed by Russo's from Doomsday.
That is true. The Russo brothers did direct that scene in the post-credit scene for the Thunderbolts, trying to probably get a feel for that group and write for that group, and how they were written. They kind of, they definitely kept the same tone of what Schaefer did and everything like that, but they are, I'm sure we're trying to get a feel of how they're going to be doing Doomsday, of how these characters are going to be in Doomsday and things like that, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, they did do that.
Lawrence A, they need a few more movies to build up Doomsday. Give us an X-Men versus Avengers first. That's what they should have done. But, moving off of that. Cinema MC, heroes, gods, mutants, all versus one man never before seen in this universe is a tall order. It very much is.
And I agree with what Patrick said there. Yeah, the Void definitely in comics, has been defeated by, Reynolds talking him down and things like that. But however, the scene that they gave in the film, I don't know. I just felt the Void could have been done a little bit. That whole scene could have been.
That whole scene could have been done a lot better. A lot better.
Like, was I in the theater like squirming, like, oh, this sucks? No, because we kind of, again, from plot leaks and things, knew that they were going to be like. I mean, I compared it to Brave New World. It's the same thing I said about Thunderbolts is the same thing I said about Brave New World. What the fuck are the Thunderbolts doing with Sentry? What the fuck is Sam doing with Red Hulk? How did Sam beat the Red Hulk? Please stop. Don't you recognize this place? You came here with your daughter. Okay, you're right. I'm not mad anymore. Same thing with Sentry. Let's hug him. You're okay. You're not alone. It's just like, if you cannot properly use the character and their skill set, their power set, and everything like that, then don't use them. That was the Russos' excuse to why we got smart Hulk, because they their words didn't know how to incorporate Hulk into that film. So I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. All right, what's next?
Let's see here. Xavier Phoenix X, so many loose threads to tie together. I don't even this mess they're. I don't even know if they know the mess they're in.
Yeah, Yeah, I think I saw somebody on Twitter posted like all the post-credit scenes that just haven't been answered,
Yeah,
and they were like, "I wonder if Marvel." No, there's no
they
wondering.
don't.
I don't think
Yeah,
Marvel's ever going to answer some of those questions. Like the Eternals, from what people say, scoopers and things, they're not even in any of this shit. So that shit with Harry Styles and Arishem coming and saying, "I'm going to judge," I don't think. I don't know. Maybe it matters if the Eternals come back, but
because they're not even rumored to be in
no, they're not rumored to be in
Fantastic
shit.
Four,
They're not rumored
which
to be in
is
shit.
um. Lawrence A said the script's not even finished. I'm assuming talking about Doomsday.
No, no. Kelsey Grammer came out in an interview. I don't know if he did this interview today or whenever he did it, but it came out today where he said, it might have come out yesterday, where he said that he knows preliminary things about the script, but he hasn't read it all the way through. And they're filming as they're writing. But this is people. I've seen people saying like, "Oh my God, it's doomed." No. And the reason I say no is because the Russos have done this with Marvel before. This was done with Civil War. This was done with Endgame. This was done with Infinity War. Look how those films turned out. Now, this could be a completely different deal, and it could not go that way for Doomsday. But they've worked this way before.
Yeah. Sorry. Cinema MC says Doomsday needs to be a whole lot of setup ending on a big cliffhanger.
Well, our beloved Sam Wilson said that it is going to end on a cliffhanger, and it's going to, what he say, leave people talking.
Yeah. Raymond 2000 said, wrap up Kang, connect the dots while also introducing Doom as this menacing villain. They did not do that. They didn't even wrap up Kang. They just completely threw it away.
I wonder if Kang is. I don't know. I just don't know either. There's so many different things out there for Kang too, as far as from scoopers and rumors. And is he going to show up? It's going to be an off-screen death or however they do it. I don't know. I don't
Raptor
know.
Cloak said, would have loved to see Kang fight Doom, but I know in my bones it won't happen. Major deserves better.
It would have been great to see both of them on screen together. For sure.
Spider-Man 4 is supposed to be a soft reboot now. I've just seen recently, I believe. That was from Rico Woods. And then Cinema MC said Superman or Spider-Man 4 is after Doomsday, still grounded.
Yeah. I need to check and see if it is after Doomsday. I don't remember. Because if it's after, that makes it a Battle World film, and I don't believe it's a Battle World film.
Victor Horde said, I think people just need to relax and let Marvel cook. We already knew nothing was going to change until around Fantastic Four. Everything up until Thunderbolts is a part of the pandemic regime, if that's what you want to call it, honey. Too hypercritical. Doomsday and Secret Wars will have everybody right on board. Okay. You're right. I love that optimism for you.
Yeah, I will say to that at one point in time, again, maybe that was, and if there are people out there, and there are people that still feel that way, and it's like, let them cook, let them cook, let them cook. I'll say about them cooking. I've sat down at this restaurant quite a few times over at Marvel Studios, and I've let them cook, and I've been fed some shit on my plate, to where I've had to ask the cook, what's going on back there? What are you doing? Can you cook up something a little better? Send something out to my table.
The kitchen? Yeah.
Because right now, what I'm letting them cook is not getting a good. It's not a 5-star restaurant right now. So no, I understand the sentiment on let them cook, but it's been 5 years.
Yeah. Raymond 2000, I think this whole saga was poorly planned. We were putting way too much blame on the toxic regime. Why did they wait to have an Avengers movie until 2025? Why was Secret Invasion a damn show? Kang should
Oh,
have
that
had his
was a
own
show.
phase. The Skrulls, their own phase, with both having elements of multiverse connectivity, and then you get into time runs out and Secret Wars follow the damn blueprint. I think she looks too old to play Miles' mom. I don't know what they were talking about.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I completely forget every time that when we talk about these shows that Secret Invasion was a thing and is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
That is real. That's out there. It's on the MCU timeline. Maybe they want to forget it, but it's there. That show was such shit.
It was so
Oh my god.
It was so bad.
That show was so bad.
I'm surprised Nick Fury let that shit happen. I'm shooketh.
Yeah, that shit was awful.
Lawrence A said they have cast Miles' mom from Actress from the Bear. They may have cast Miles. Or they may have cast Miles, but they haven't cast Miles. Are we getting a Miles?
Let Amy Pascal say it. Yeah.
Okay. Everyone, Ricardo Wood said, watch them make Sadie sink Firestar. Lawrence replied back with, Sadie is probably Jackpot. I thought Sadie was rumored to be Gwen and Spider-Man 4.
There was a speculation from a lot of people. People were like, oh, it's Gwen. She's got to be playing Gwen. But she may not be playing Gwen. They may actually get an actual blonde head to play her.
Maybe. Patrick Tyler, I have no interest in Ironheart.
Oh, yeah.
Same.
I think anybody does.
Sanoma said, if Doomsday and Secret Wars hits, the tune will change, but it's not a guarantee. There's no reason beyond blind faith to be super confident that it will hit.
I completely agree. Winning cures everything. I used to tell my boys that coaching basketball all the time. And again, coaching with their, AU basketball, competitive sports, whether it be AU competitive or whatever, winning cures everything. When we would lose, if we did lose a game or whatever, you had parents upset. Well, what's going on? Well, why didn't my baby play? Dot, this, that. Well, you play a game at 9 a.m., you turn around and play another game at 11 a.m. in AU basketball, and let's say you win that game, well, then it cured every attitude. Right. And nobody's upset. Nobody's mad. It's like, oh, yeah, my baby got 2 minutes, but we won. Yo, winning cures everything. So if Marvel can put out a W, a real W in this, people are going to be like, that's when people are going to be saying, we're so back.
Yeah.
That's when you'll say we're so back.
Patrick Taylor said the only show I'm waiting for is Wonder Man. I think you're gonna be waiting for a while.
No, that one's coming.
Is that one still coming? Again, no talks. I've heard nothing of the sort.
It's coming. The only thing you got from it was that little sizzle reel deal that they showed. I don't remember what event it was, but they showed that, maybe D23. Wonder Man is coming. He's on his way.
Okay. Raptor Cloak said Ironheart was a pain in the ass and Wakanda Forever, or for Wakanda Forever, and she's part of the reason the Queen died. So I ain't checking for her turning up again. He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
I do not even remember her role really in Wakanda Forever. I really don't. I'm not even trying to be funny, facetious, or anything like that. I don't remember her role in Wakanda Forever. I know that she was I know they were protecting her. I don't remember what the fuck for. She had something or built something or.
I couldn't tell you. S. Jadix said, apparently for Ironheart, they are dropping 3 1 week and then the last 3 the following week. Maybe
That's
just drop.
still stupid. Again, it would
That's
behoove them
just
to drop all
all of
6.
it.
Just drop them all. Drop them all.
Lawrence Ed said, I will check out 3 episodes like with Andor. If it doesn't get my interest, I will drop it.
Yeah, they need to check the temperature. Once they drop that trailer, they need to check the temperature of the room. If the temperature of the room is still the way the temperature of the room is currently for Ironheart, I wouldn't do 3 one week, 3 the next week.
Right. Raymond 2000, I'm still watching because I root for everybody black with critique, but this is a very bad sign. A trailer days before a show comes out is bad, real bad. Well, you know.
Yeah, I'm with you on being Issa Rae too. I'm rooting for everybody black, and I am rooting for Dominic Thorne, and I hope she has a good show. However, I would have to have the time and find the time to when I'm sitting in my bed, even if I have time in my bed, I'm sitting down. I could watch it when I come in and, eat my lunch during the day or whatever. When I could watch it or whatever. But it would have to be the thing of me actively sitting down, actively clicking on Disney Plus, then actively clicking on the Ironheart icon to watch the show. I don't have, there's literally, and I'm not being funny, not being facetious, nothing like that. There is nothing driving me to even click on Ironheart. There's nothing at all. And I can compare it to Star Wars because that is my favorite franchise of all time. Star Wars has done things like, Andor. Nothing drives me to want to watch Andor. I'll say this: they put out the trailer originally for Andor, and then it looked like somebody was getting choked, maybe by the Force. And I was like, oh my god, is Vader going to show up? It's not driving me to watch all the episodes of Andor. It's not even driving me to watch that episode of Andor if Vader's really in it. I'm simply going to look at it on Twitter, whatever clip it is, because I don't quite give a damn. So it's like I can't, and I didn't even finish Daredevil Born Again because I couldn't bring myself to give a fuck about the final episodes or really any of them. So I won't be watching Ironheart. I don't have the time, nor the care.
Let's see here. Raymond 2000, y'all were able to announce, produce, film, and release Agatha in under 2 years, and Ironheart has no marketing, no damn action figures or merch, no trailer, not even a freaking poster. Nothing.
They don't care.
Let's see. Lawrence A. Herseling parts for her suit and getting kicked out of MIT. Spoiler. The Culture Made Cancel said the only reason they didn't scrap it is because of Mephisto. Andrew Ryan said Ironheart should have came out in 2023.
Yeah, because I forget. Forever came out end of 2022. So yeah, it should have came out in 2023. It's the wrong time. You're 2022 about a character.
Listen, right. Let's see here. The Culture Made channel again said, I think they're going to have to accept T'Challa Jr. to get the Storm storyline.
Oh, and that's a whole nother
conversation.
That's a whole nother thing.
Cinema MC said, I rebuke T Jr. in the name of everything holy.
Yeah, but he might be coming.
King of Dreams 91. Hey, Planet Fanatics, love your channel. I saw Facebook posts called Small Screen saying Marvel cast an older T'Challa Jr. Have you heard about that?
First, thank you so much for
thank you. We appreciate
kind
that.
words.
Yeah.
other than that, just that they have reached out to, the only rumor that I guess people are really clinging to is that it's from Jeff Snyder, that Marvel has seemingly reached out to a male actor to portray T'Challa. I don't know about older, but to portray T'Challa, and whoever this actor is already plays a superhero, is already playing or playing a superhero. A lot of people think that's Aldous Hodge, but some people are thinking that currently the only other black person is Aaron Pierre. So thinking that it might be Aaron Pierre, there's a lot of conversation surrounding if it's Aaron Pierre. That's crazy. But even if Aldous Hodge is playing to Junior, that's crazy too. But there is rumor that it is a black male Panther coming in. Is he older? I don't know. Is it going to be T'Challa Jr., T'Challa, I don't know. We'll have to see. T'Chaka, let's see. I don't know. But I have seen rumors about it, about him coming back.
Everyone's saying M'Baku actually is the king of Wakanda right now. Why Shuri is doing the Black Panther business. Lawrence A said she should warn the other and get killed, and we get T'Challa from a different universe. Oh my god.
Yeah, I forget he is the ruler of Wakanda. That is how that film ended.
Yes. I don't know why, but my screen is flickering. Do you see that?
Yeah. But you should be fine.
Okay. Let's see. Lawrence A said, I bet MBJ will come back as a multiverse Panther. Isn't that technically like a fake of the comic books? Like, isn't there a run where? No, am I tripping? Maybe not in the older ones, but I think in the newer ones. There's because I was just looking it up. Like, okay, because as far as my knowledge, like the OG T'Challa is like there's only one T'Challa. So if he did come from another multiverse, like how would that fit in? Is there even other?
No, there's other.
Black
there's multiversal characters of everyone except for the neck. Like it's like you've got someone like America Chavez, who there's no one in the MCU. There's no one else like she's the only one.
Yeah.
But as far as T'Challa, there's other T'Challas out there in the universe. He's not the only one.
Right. So then I kind of went down that rabbit hole, and I thought I read somewhere that there was a comic book series where Killmonger. Let me look this up because I feel like I'm not maybe describing it correctly, or let's see.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Sorry, I'm just looking at the score of this deal, this game, which is sad. It's very sad.
Let's see, because I know I'm not tripping. I swear. I thought I read that. Maybe I am.
This is so sad. If you're talking about Steve Kerr is something else, bro. If you're talking about the issues that they were done with Killmonger, I had to call the timeout. That I think that was done. No, I don't know. I don't remember. Sometime not long ago, in game time.
Right? Like I know they're kind of more of like the recent ones. Like they're not obviously like OG Black Panther, but I thought I read somewhere that there was like a little mini series where like Killmonger, at least in that universe, Killmonger was T'Challa.
Not T'Challa, but
or not T'Challa, but Black Panther.
Yeah. So what's your question with that?
Well, because someone made, it wasn't really a question, I was just saying, because someone made a comment that Michael B. Jordan would come back as T'Challa from a different universe, or as Black Panther from a different universe.
Oh yeah, well
and I was like, well, that
can suck eggs too. Unless it's
eggs.
T'Challa, that can suck. I can say it's different. That can suck a dick too. Unless it's T'Challa himself, I was perturbed when Killmonger was in the ancestral plane, so I don't need to see Killmonger.
That part. I was like, why are you here?
Yeah, I don't.
Why did you show back up here? This is so crazy.
Yeah, I'm good.
Let's see. Rapper Cloak, yes, bring on Aldis or Damson and make it a done deal.
It'd be nice.
Yeah, I mean,
we have some at the bottom that have been coming in.
Yes, I'm trying to scroll down there. Yes, there we go. If I click the right buttons. Sorry, guys. I got a new computer, so I'm still trying to figure it out.
You know, this shit is stressing. For those that, sorry, I'm kind of in and out during the Q&A part. We're in third quarter right now of the game, and it is 68-66, Warriors down, Minnesota up. Now, granted, we're only down by 2, but the series is 2-1. Steph being out, maybe not even coming back till possibly game 6, maybe tomorrow, the next game, game 5, maybe.
Sorry to interrupt. Patrick Tyler said, did you guys hear about Marvel wanting Coogler to direct C-Men?
He meant
X-Men. I was like...
yes, that was a rumor at one point. As same as the rumor that they wanted him to do Secret Wars. It's kind of the same rumor that, I don't want to pronounce his name incorrectly. I guess I'm pronouncing his last name incorrectly. But the director for Thunderbolts being the one to, I guess, direct X-Men. I don't believe that that's real. I don't think that he's actually. Maybe they're like, hey, you'd be good, but they did the same thing with Taika. Hey, you did.
And look where that happened. Yeah.
I think that Marvel sometimes gets so caught up on like, hey, this director did such a good job with this. Let's give them everything. Black Panther was their first $1 billion film, and Ryan Coogler was so great in their eyes and things like that. And then after delivering Wakanda Forever, which they view as a W, looked at it and said, hey, wouldn't he be great for Secret Wars? And it's like, what the fuck are y'all talking about?
Right. Let's stop talking.
So it's like, I don't believe that they are actually really looking at this individual, or looking at, is it Jake, or to really be the director for X-Men. Again, I think they do that a lot just because he was able to take this group of misfits that, don't have any power sets or aren't doing this. You were able to do that. And I'm not knocking him. That's great. That's fine. But to have the idea that think that he can take the Thunderbolts group and do what he did, and then take the X-Men and repeat that, I think
that's
it's
crazy,
foolish. But
also, Patrick Tyler also asked if we heard anything about Neve Campbell as
Polaris.
Thank you. I was like, why can I not talk?
Yes, there have been some things about Neve. I have seen that about her as Polaris, but Bo DeMeo has recently come out and debunked that, I guess. So this is what he says. Bo DeMeo says, incorrect. I cast her as Polaris in season 2 of X-Men 97. I'm sorry, let me read the thing first. Marvel Updates posted. Neve Campbell has has reportedly been cast as Polaris in the MCU. Polaris is Magneto's daughter in the comics, to where Bo said incorrect. I cast her as Polaris in season 2 of the X-Men 97. She does amazing work bringing something new, and felt right to have a 90s icon pick up where Lorna's story was left in cold comfort. She's got thoughts on Genosha. So I don't know if it's live action that Polaris is supposed to be coming in. Neve Campbell as Polaris is supposed to be coming in. I don't know why they would do that anyway. Neve Campbell is old. Why they keep wanting to go for these older actresses and things like that? I don't know how if Polaris would have a longer lasting role in the MCU. I doubt it. I'm sure it's just for this shit, but I don't think it's live action. I mean, again, Bo says it was for season 2 of X-Men 97. Maybe it still is for season 2 of X-Men 97. I don't know.
Makes sense. So maybe more of a voice than like a...
Maybe, but then Alex over the Cosmic Circus was one of the ones putting it out today too, and they were sharing pictures of, now unless again this is for X-Men 97, they were sharing pictures of House of M, from House of M with Polaris, Magneto, Wanda, and Pietro. I don't know if that's for 97.
Right.
I don't know. I also didn't read Alex's.
I was assuming that it was going to be for 97. I didn't think it was going to be for like anything, because from our understanding, I mean, I know we're going to get some form of X-Men before Secret Wars, but we're probably not really going to get X-Men until after, correct? From what we've been saying?
What is it?
Predicting? As far as X-Men, like we're not really going to get we're going to get X-Men, semi-X-Men before Doomsday.
Yeah.
Or before
X-Men,
Secret Wars. But they're not.
Well, the way that Kevin Feige has put it is that the X-Men are going, the 10-year plan they have for the X-Men is obviously bringing in more new actors to portray some of these the X-Men that we've known forever and but before that, obviously, like as it's been announced, the OG X-Men are from the Fox universe are going to come in, and that's going to be their send-off. Feige worked on the original X-Men films before he became Kevin Feige, and he wants to give them a proper send-off. So the X-Men up until that time are going to be the Fox X-Men. I think, if I'm correct, he also did say we're supposed to get a few mutants here and there showing up.
Yeah, so when I saw Neve for Polaris, I thought it was going to be for 97. I didn't think it was going to be for anything live action.
Possibly.
But that's where my mindset at. Like when I saw it this morning, I immediately was like, "Oh, for 97, that makes sense."
Yeah.
No, I don't know. Let's see. Chillmonger said that Killmonger had a 5-issue limited series after the film in 2018. Thank you for answering that question.
Oh, so it was around that time. I didn't read it.
Random post experiment. After Sinners, Coogler will now be highly sought for more Marvel projects. He could do Blade. He is now forgiven for the missteps of Wakanda forever. LOL. Maybe in your eyes. I personally haven't gone to see that movie because of the last movie he gave me, whether this is an original or not. If you put a bad taste in my mouth, you put a bad taste in my mouth. That might be the Virgo talking. I don't know. But
yeah, I've seen it. I've seen Sinners 3 times. I still stand by everything I said about Sinners. I think that Sinners is a good original film. I think it's shot beautifully. I think the dialogue in it is a lot of it is great. I think the story, what you're trying to convey. Obviously, it took the first time I watched it, as I've said before in my review when we talked about on Pantheon. I didn't sit down and I didn't leave the theater taking away a lot of the things that people were taking away from or were taken away on Twitter, where everybody was talking about it, getting so many different things from it, being deep into it. Now, after my second watch, I was like, of course, I see everything that everybody's saying. I saw the reason I guess I left the theater not seeing that is because that ain't what I expected. That ain't what was marketed. It was marketed as a horror film. So when I sat down to see the film, and again, people may not like my takeaway from it, whatever. I still think Sinners is a good film. I think that Ryan obviously has something there with that becoming a franchise and things like that. But again, the way it was marketed was a horror film. The clips that they released for it were marketing the horror aspects of it. When I saw Sinners the very first time, the second time, and the third time, I still say this about it. You know, the scenes that they're supposed to be showing the vampires where you're supposed to be scared and things like that, you cut away from a lot of those scenes every single time. When you're seeing Haley Steinfeld's character biting down on Stack, it's after they had been in there. Like, you open the door, which I don't mind that's fine. I don't have to see the initial bite or anything like that. But even when she gets bit, you don't see that bite. When he's getting ready to fly, when the, I forget his name, the head vampire flies into the air to get ready to go get her as she's walking back into the juke joint, that scene's cut, and then you go back into the juke joint. And again, I get what they were trying to convey. For me, when I first sat down, I'm taking away all of that, and I'm like, okay, why are we not seeing the fucking vampires? Why are we not seeing the horror elements? And again, I'm just like,
so you went in there with a different mindset because
I did
the way
because I thought it was a horror.
A horror movie, yeah.
I thought it was a horror. Obviously, it conveys a different element of horror than the jump out, scare you type of horror, but it just wasn't like the horror I'm looking for is what I'm going to go see in the Conjuring Last Rite in September. Like the Conjuring Last Rite trailer in September, like that's the horror. When you say horror, I'm expecting paranormal type shit, or if it's in that lane of paranormal type shit. That's so again, not a bad film, just not what I was expecting.
Well, you know. Let's see. Scarlet Witch is the only one as well, but I don't know what they were talking about beforehand.
Yeah, see, Stamina said he's glad it wasn't a horror. Spine is made of sponge. You can't deal with it. See, I'm the type of person like you want to. I'll go to a graveyard with you at like 2 a.m. just to possibly see a poltergeist or something like that. Like I don't want to be a ghost hunter, and I don't want to. I'm like, I'll be one of the first people that some weird shit happen. I might, take off and be gone. But the excitement of the possibility of being scared shitless in real life over something like that, like I'd partake. I've partaked in stuff. I've gone to, like, I won't do Ouija boards or shit like that. I had a friend of mine, one of my white friends in high school, tell me, hey, come do a Ouija board with me. I talk to my dad every day. And I was like, bitch, you don't know the fuck that you're talking to your daddy. It's a Ouija board. You don't know that you're talking to your daddy. Personal, and then we can move on from this. Personal little story I can give, though. Someone in my family performed or did a Ouija board. This was, I was young. I was my mom. Actually, I don't think my mom had me yet, but someone in my family did a Ouija board, and it was a couple other family members sitting around the Ouija board or whatever. And one of the family member that performed the Ouija board at the time was pregnant. They asked a bunch of different questions of the Ouija board, and the Ouija board told her, it's my aunt, my grandmother's sister, that the baby was going to die during childbirth. And lo and behold, Joelle did not make it out of childbirth. Ouija boards are nothing to play with. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. I might be like, oh, poltergeist and horror and all this kind of stuff. You will never catch me trying to summon.
See, even my horror goes to like a very certain extent, because once it passes a certain line, I'm not messing with that stuff in real life, baby. I'm not messing with it on TV. I'm not messing with it in my dreams. No. No. I'll do a little slash and gash. You know what I mean? I'll do a little boogly boo. I see you and I got you. I'll do a little, I know what you did last summer, but I can't go beyond that. That's paranormal activity. No, I believe in that stuff too much. No. When I first moved into this house, you're muted. When I first moved into this house, I very much was like, hello, anyone that's in this house, please know that I am a nice person.
See, but
Please
that's my
don't
thing.
mess with me.
I don't even go looking for it. Like my mom right now, she thinks that there's something going on in her house, and she has evidence too that there could possibly be. I don't know.
Sometimes you're
I
not
don't
looking
know.
for it. Sometimes they just look for you, Darius. That's how they work sometimes. They have a mind of their own.
Well, that shit is true though. What Lawrence said, that shit can attach itself to you. That's why I
Yeah.
don't. That's why certain shit, it's like that's a little outside my boundaries.
I'm telling you, when I was growing up, I remember like I know for a fact that I wouldn't say like our house was what haunted, but my dad and his wife at the time used to work at a psych ward, like a really old psych ward. And I remember there would be times I would wake up in the middle of the night to go get something to drink, and she would be sitting there talking to herself. And I'm like, you talking to somebody? Because somebody done attached onto you and you done brought it home.
Yeah, but see, there's other things too that's like with and this is honestly, we should be moving on, but I will tell this one since we with the dead and things like that. When I was little, my grandmother, my mother's mother, passed away when I was 5, I believe. Me and my grandmother were very close. And I don't remember this. So my family tells me this story because there were a lot of people obviously there. I don't have any recollection of this. However, so my grandmother, when she passed, I guess the lights, the minute she passed in the hospital room, the lights started going on and off. I guess when we got home to our house, because at the time it was just me and my mom, the lights were going on and off at our house. When we got to my aunt's house, because my mom was freaked out and wanted to stay with her sister, we went and stayed over there. The lights were going on and off at her house. When we went to the funeral home, the lights were going on and off at the funeral home. I guess the lights were going on and off at the church too until whatever. Now, when we got back to the house for the, everybody comes over and, it's not a reception after a funeral. What the fuck is it where everybody goes back to the house? And I thought the wake was before. Is it still a wake after?
I don't know. Either way, they're not awake. So I don't know why they call it awake, because they're not awake. But anyway,
whatever the shit is after, where everybody meets back at the house and they bring the food and everybody's eating all. So we were the repast. Thank you.
A repast. There you go.
We were over, I guess, at the repast, and I was in the backyard, and I guess I was I don't know. I came running into my mom. I was like, Mama. And she was like, what? And I said, Granny's in the backyard. And she told me to tell you, I said, Granny's in the backyard and she's in a white dress. And she told me to tell you. And I guess as soon as I got ready to tell her whatever my grandmother told me, everybody, again, there were a lot of people there. Family was there. Everybody says that I froze. And then like they were shaking me like, Darius. And they said that when I came out of it, whatever it was, I said, and mind you, I'm 5 and I don't remember this.
Right.
Jesus told me I can't tell you. And I went off and did whatever I don't remember that. So you get your paranormal shit, but spiritual, that shit's real, regardless if it's good, evil, whatever. That shit is very real. Very real. Okay, that was our tangent on ghost stories.
Yes, and Raymond over here giving us all the correct. Either way, I feel like as a society we need to rethink these names, because something being called awake days before we see someone dead does not make any sense to me. A repass? What are we repassing out? Death? Because I don't want that. Keep that with the person that's going down, please. I don't need that on me. I feel like as a society we need to talk about this more, but that's my rant on that. So,
like Marvelous D said, those things are not things to be played with. Yeah. But yeah. So anyway, that's I believe most of the comments there. We got down to the bottom.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah. So anyway, we do appreciate everybody hanging out with us tonight in the chat. Thank you so much for those super chats, and thank you for flooding the chat and hanging out with us. Again, we appreciate it. We are back here tomorrow.
We back, baby.
I am trying every day at 8:30. If it doesn't start till 9, well, then some shit happened. But it's supposed to be every day at 8:30. Yeah.
We're trying.
Central Standard Time, 8:30. So tomorrow we're trying for 8:30 Central Standard Time. If not, it'll be 9 o'clock again. But everything should be set up because we were trying to get Corey's situated before we came on. But everything should be set up to where we can go at 8:30 tomorrow, 8:30 Central Standard Time. Back here, new topics, more stuff to talk about, and we will see all you guys then. Hopefully, Q should be here as well. And and Thursday is still Pantheon stream. We are not live Planet Fanatics as a group on Thursdays. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Fridays. If you're new here, hit that subscription button. If you like what you saw, hit that subscription button. If you didn't like what you saw, hit that subscription button. Go ahead and like the video as well. Appreciate all of you guys. Like, subscribe. How do I do this? No. Share with your friends.
Yay.
I'll see all you guys in the next video. Peace out.
Bye, guys. Thank you.